is Andre Lahori. I'm from the south side of Chicago, known as the Bronzeville. Um, and the Bronzeville is where a lot of the southern people from the south migrated to escape what they considered Jim Crowism. And they created a hub where people lived and hung out. And my music influence comes from growing up in the gospel churches, listening to the blues, watching cartoons. The jazz music was all around us. The jazz that we consider jazz, the traditional jazz in America, somehow mutated into other forms. So the new forms are technically jazz, but the old form of jazz that we consider jazz is not as prominent in the culture as it is in France. The French are known for preserving history and culture, so they definitely kept jazz on the forefront of the culture of their society. Where in America, they just constantly change things. So jazz was absolutely 100% in the DNA and in the culture. We just didn't put a title to it. We didn't. We were focusing on a cartoon when Tom and Jerry, a cat chasing a little rat around. Do 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 do. Oh, boom. It was all jazz. So there it is. So, I had neighbors that played blues all the time. I had neighbors that played jazz all the time. I had neighbors that played gospel all the time. I had neighbors that played rock and roll all the time. So, when you hang out with kids and you get to go to their homes and have the sleepovers or to have lunch or something, you were going to get some form of music. The first, I run my shop here, so I get to meet all the tourists coming from around the world. And the first question, really, for most of them is, where can we hear some good jazz? So I said you could choose between the two. You could have the the institutional jazz, which is good to listen to, but I prefer to participate. I want to dance. I want to swing. I want to sweat. I want to feel that magic that my grandmother told me so much about, or the old men in the barbershop. So when I walk into the Cabo de la Shed, I feel like I'm walking back into a period in America that my grandmother experienced, and it feels good. In the curriculum, culture is the forefront here, where in America, the culture is to go to school and get a job and make money. So it's the capitalist society opposed to a society that thrives on culture. When I first came here, it was a mixed crowd. It was older, mostly older people there swinging and rock dancing, granny's age. And a few young people standing around looking clueless. And then when I returned, maybe 6 months later, the young people had taken over. So the young people that are learning jazz and they taking their cultural influences from, if they're from Russia, Germany, wherever, and introducing it to jazz. Yeah, of course, that's definitely going to happen.